Hey, I'd like to welcome you to another episode of Mission Matters. My name is Adam Torres, and I'm so excited to announce I'm at the 95th Annual Texas FFA Convention. And my guest today is Cody Neal Martinez, who is the founder of Wandering Maverick. Cody, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
All right, so we're going to have some fun today. I understand that you're a founder of Wandering Maverick, an entrepreneur. You've been in the Texas FFA. You're coming back. You're at convention. A lot going on.
It's a lot.
So excited to have you on. Let's just start from the beginning. I mean, how did you first understand and get introduced to the Texas FFA?
Absolutely. So I was actually a seventh grader. I just did the math, 2011. And my brother was a freshman at our high school. And so he joined our FFA chapter. And so then I was interested in it. I'm a multi-generation agriculturalist, and our chapter allowed us to join as seventh grade. So I was able to go to many state conventions and national conventions with my chapter.
Wow. What was that like, kind of growing up in that environment? Like, how was that?
It was awesome. To me, I don't know anything other than agriculture. I don't know anything other than FFA and 4-H. And so with me, I think it really just shaped who I am today. It showed me those things. And that's why I want to come back, because I know not only are these kids right now you can influence them in any way. Yeah. And these kids are always looking for mentors or someone to do that. And so being in part of the FFA and doing all of that really showed me leadership skills. It showed me entrepreneurship skills. It was able to teach me how to do finances and showing and all of those things, and really just helped me build my network as well.
Wow. And so you mentioned growing up in an agricultural family, right?
Yes, sir.
So how does Texas FFA or FFA in general, how does that all, that ecosystem work? How does it support each other?
Right. So with my family, my dad is a rancher. My grandpa trains racehorses. So we have a little bit of everything that we kind of had to experience too. And with FFA and our agriculture background, so in FFA, I did livestock judging. That was one of my big things. And so at those contests, you're judging a couple classes, and you have steers, heifers, pigs, lambs, goats. And that just really allowed you to come back and tie that to ranching, because I was able to see the full cycle from when a calf was born to when they were either show ready or market ready, to the full cycle of being into a grocery store. And so I think FFA really ties that into that agriculture. But I don't want to just leave it at animal ag for FFA, because there's so many ways you can be in FFA and you never have to touch a cow, touch a pig, anything like that.
Yeah. And so you mentioned leadership and leadership skills and entrepreneurship and kind of how this all mixed. What was that like for you?
So I was from a really small FFA chapter. We had 9 active members. Okay. My junior year, I ended up switching to a larger chapter where I did serve as president of both of those chapters. My larger chapter had about 250. So I took a big jump.
Hold on, from 9 to 250?
Yes,
okay.
I took a big jump my junior year. But throughout those leaderships, so I served as a chapter. I was also very involved in Texas 4-H, which works greatly with Texas FFA. And I served as the Texas 4-H president.
So you decided, kind of fast forwarding through the story. So you were in Texas FFA, of course, when you were in school, and then you get out, or when did you start your business, I should say?
I started my business as a freshman at Texas A&M University in 2018.
Wow. So you were still a student.
Yes, sir.
See, all the entrepreneurs, a lot of entrepreneurs that watch this, you can start, while you're in school. There's reasons to do it.
Oh, so absolutely.
What gave you the idea?
So like I said, I was a part of agriculture, and during my time at Texas A&M University, I was on the wool judging team. I knew that I wanted to be on the livestock judging team. And when you're on those teams, you don't really have time for a real job. And with that, we had Sunday practice, or we're gone a week to Denver. We're gone a week to wherever these contests are. So you can't just
tell your boss, hey, gotta go.
Exactly. And so I knew college was expensive, and I was thankful for the scholarships I got through Texas FFA and 4-H and the stock shows here in Texas, that I had my tuition covered, but it's still expensive to live and eat and all of that. So I went to my closet. I pulled out every graphic t-shirt I owned. I had gotten a Cricut for Christmas and $200. And I went to Google and I said, how do I buy a Bella Canvas t-shirt wholesale? And it said, you need your tax ID. So I opened another tab and I said, how do I get a tax ID in Texas?
Stop.
18 years old. I pulled out every single one and I started it with $200 in a Cricut. I'd sold a little bit of everything until 2 years later that I really found my mission.
Wow. And so tell me more about that mission.
Our mission has 3 parts to it. So one is to support women in agriculture. The other one is advocate for agriculture. And then we just recently added supporting agriculture education.
Wow. And so Wandering Maverick, where did the name come from? Have to ask.
I love it. Well, when I first started, I was actually called Five and Ranch and Designs. And I decided to change it 7 months in because at 7 months, I didn't have my mission. And I was just selling anything during college. I just wanted to make money. If it
You're
had,
like, if you want a shirt, I got you.
exactly. If it had a donkey, a beer, I mean, a college town, you know,
Of
all these
course.
girls want that. And so I wanted it to be tied to agriculture, but I didn't want it to be like, oh, her name has ranch in it. She only sells ranch things. Maverick is a term used on ranches that is like an unbranded, untamed bull calf that we can't get into the pen. So I still wanted it to tie to agriculture without screaming it. And then Wandering came from, I always knew I wanted to travel to shows, get out of the state of Texas and go reach the people where they're at.
And so now tell us about your business today in terms of like the types of products and what you do.
So we are a graphic t-shirt and apparel company. We have a few other things like posters, cups, all of that, but we really started it with putting agriculture messages on t-shirts. We like to say it's a walking billboard, and we get messages like, I was at the DFW airport and someone asked me, what does support women in ag mean? Or I was at my local gas station and they said, what does teach ag mean? And I was able to tell them, I'm the agriculture teacher at our local high school. I'm teaching those students about that.
What do you think is some of the secret to your success and the brand and why it's really caught fire? Because I've heard about you and your name from so many different people, which is one of the reasons why we had to hunt you down for this interview. I'm like, who is this Wandering Maverick? Like, it's a myth. I don't know. Like, what do you think is part of the reason for your success?
I think there's a couple different things, and I would not change how I got here because every trial and tribulation and lesson that I learned along the way. But one is, and if anyone knows me, I work all the time. I enjoy work, and it's really not work to me and all that. And then I really love the mission. And with the support women in ag, and there's no better world than the agriculture world. And so being able to impact one person and they go tell their friend, well, then they bring their friend, and really the community that we built around women in agriculture and these FFA and the support agriculture education, we really just kind of came together as a community. And over the last 3 years, especially, I've seen so much growth with our FFA, our ag education, and our women in ag.
Talk a little bit more about that concept of supporting women in ag and really why that's so important. Because I had a gentleman that I interviewed earlier, and his I believe it was his sister was one of the first women FFA members. So this, way back when, obviously. But talk a little bit more about that.
Absolutely. I like to tell this part of my story. During my junior year at Texas A&M University, I had everyone tell me, you got to go get a real job. You have to go do this. Kids your age right now, they're getting internships. They're figuring out, do you want to go get your master's or go work for somebody else? So I put my little small business kind of to the back burner, and I went and took a marketing internship with a large pharmaceutical company based out of Kansas City. It was summer 2020, so it was virtual, but we had some mock interviews. And during one of my mock interviews, there was this lady, she was 28 years old. She was over an entire cattle region. And I already had the kind of women in ag in my head and all of this because I was in agriculture. I knew that it was more of a man-dominated field. Yeah. And 36% of women, 36% of agriculture is women. So only about a third. And I asked this lady at the end, and I said, I know this doesn't pertain to what we're talking about, but as a young woman in agriculture, what are the challenges that you face and how do you overcome them?
Wow.
And her answer was really, well, at 28 and I'm ahead of multiple states of cattle regions, I still walk into the boardroom and they think I'm the intern.
Wow.
Even though I'm the one leading the meeting and doing this. And she said, I just sit back and you just have to prove it. But then it got me thinking, why do women have to prove themselves in agriculture? And so that's really when the next month I launched a Support Women in Agriculture shirt. And then that's when I decided, you know what, I'm going to take a chance on myself. 1 year after college, if I don't make it, if I can't pay my bills, I'll go and get a job in the agriculture industry. But I'm thankful I took that chance.
Was your that sounds like a risk. Like obviously, like were the people around you, were they all support? Were they scared? Were they like family or others? Everybody, obviously, all of our family wants the best for us. But like how was that? Like your support system around you, was that scary?
It was scary. My family's super supportive, but I was in college and I had people telling me, you got to go get a real job.
You went to college, you did this, that, and now you're going to do what?
Exactly.
Like that was just college. Like, how did you overcome that?
Sometimes I think those years are a blur because I wasn't scared. I just jumped in because at that point I was like, what do I have to lose? I don't know what's out there, but what do I have to lose? And earlier when they were like, well, do your side job, but keep your day job so you know it can support you. And I guess I was able to start it when I was in college and didn't have completely big girl bills to pay like a mortgage or anything. And so I think that's what just helped. Taking it slow, being able to go over those years.
So, of course, part of the things that you do here as an exhibitor and a sponsor is you're bringing your clothing, you're bringing your mission to the events. But other than that, like, what keeps you in the game? What keeps you coming back? Because there's a lot of different places you can be. There's a lot of different places you can set up shop. Like, what keeps you coming back to Texas FFA?
Nobody does it better than Texas FFA. And honestly, our business, we've traveled to Oklahoma, Ohio, Florida, Arkansas.
So you truly are the Wandering Maverick.
Yes, we truly are. And then we'll go to National FFA in November in Indianapolis, with about 70,000 kids. And so I just think there's something so important with the FFA Association. And like I kind of touched on earlier is the kids, really. And with our mission supporting women in ag, I really want to support young women in ag because in high school, I didn't know that to be a woman in ag, you didn't have to be on a farm or ranch. You can be a teacher. You can be in a boardroom. You can be at the Capitol. You can be a mom or a wife that's supporting somebody in agriculture. Or like I tell everyone, you can be selling T-shirts and you can still be a woman in agriculture. And we deserve to have that space.
Yeah. I want you to talk maybe to the young entrepreneurs out there, whether they're the future entrepreneurs from Texas FFA or just entrepreneurs in general. What kind of things would you tell them now having the benefit? Cody, you've been doing this a while, so now you have the benefit of hindsight, and there's always things we maybe would have wanted to do differently or change or this or that. But like, what would you tell the next group of budding entrepreneurs?
I know that this is trademark and Nike says it, but just do it. I always tell everyone, I didn't know 5 years ago with $200 that I was creating a multi-million-dollar brand. I did not know that. And I tell kids all the time, it doesn't matter if, okay, you raise cattle. Well, why don't you think about how can you market that from pasture to plate? How can you sell your beef directly? Or you're interested in photography. Well, you can pick up a camera. You can go and start a photography business and photograph these livestock shows, these FFA events. There's so many different things you can do because I never thought printing a T-shirt would turn into this. There's plenty of T-shirts out there. Nothing like my company has been done before where it's specifically agriculture based. And then people always ask me, well, are you in the boutique world or are you in the ag world? And usually ag doesn't belong in the boutique world and boutique doesn't belong in the ag world, but I've been able to create a space for that.
Talk to me a little bit about the importance of being online and digital and social media, because one of the things that I've noticed, and you keep coming up, is like you put effort into it and you take time and the way your content's laid out, the individuals that you even showcase other individuals, and you can see it's one thing to sit in an interview and to say that you support women in ag. It's another thing to see it, like you can see it on your social. Maybe talk a little bit about that authenticity and how you do what you do on social.
Absolutely. So I love social media. I love marketing. That's always been a passion of mine. But other than going to shows, online business is what we have. I would say 42 weeks out of the year, we're relying on our online business. And with our social media, so every Wednesday, we do a Woman in Ag Wednesday. This week, it was the 4 girls of the Texas FFA State Officer team. Other than that, we've had ag teachers. We've had students who have created their own businesses that we highlight. And then each year, we started it last year, we actually give back to women in agriculture in forms of a scholarship. So we have now awarded 31 scholarships to women in ag across the United States.
That's amazing. Congratulations on that. And that's like you're being blessed and now you've already found a way to be a blessing. That's amazing.
Absolutely. I tell everyone it's because of the customers that we're able to do this. And a percentage of sales go directly to that scholarship because, like I said, I was like, I want to support women in ag. But I don't want to just talk about it. I want to be about it. I want to do those things and be able to make that tangible impact on those lives.
So Cody, it's been great having you on the show. I know you got a lot going on here at convention. I'm glad you made some time for us over here.
Thank you.
What's next? I mean, what's next for you? What's next for your business?
So what's next for me is we'll come back to Dallas in a week for Ag Teacher Conference here at Texas. Then we go back, we have a few months online, and we head to National FFA Convention in the fall in Indianapolis. But in terms of the business, we're actually launching a men's line soon.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yes, we are going to do things that support men in agriculture as well, because we've really pushed that women in ag. Now we just want to talk about getting agriculture together.
Yeah.
We've created that strong community of women. We've created that support. And now we just want agriculture to be able to go out, because everyone's involved in agriculture and it impacts every single life out there. And then we really want to focus on the ag education side and getting those resources to those classrooms. If it's posters, I really want to create some type of like lesson plan for advocating for agriculture, because I always like to tell this story. My aunt who lives in a city, does not have anything to do with ag. She commented on one of our Facebook posts, and she did not know all chicken in the store was hormone and antibiotic free. And she said, that's like a coupon that I got in the grocery store. And with that, I want to be able to create that aspect too, because I told somebody earlier, if we were to combine all the social media followers in this one building, how many people could we impact?
Absolutely. Wow. Well, Cody, again, thank you for coming on the show so much. I appreciate it. If somebody's watching this or listening to this and they want to follow you, they want to follow your brand, what's the best way for them to do that?
On social media platforms, we're at Wandering Maverick Boutique, or we're shopwmb.com.
Fantastic. Thank you again for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me.